throughout the development of my magazine, I already
Powered by
had
Riverside FM.
some skills in producing a magazine. However, the previous magazine that I worked on, it had nothing to do with architecture. So, in a way, I had to learn to see what type of pictures would mix well together in a specific page, and I also had to work my ways around with colors. um for example, a lot of conventions would use a blue color scheme, so I decided to go with that. But previously, before research, I would use vibrant colors like pink, yellow, and I saw that that wasn't working, so I did research and saw that blue was a very famous blue color scheme that works very well in architectural magazines. um I also had to learn where to specifically put the pictures in my magazine. For example, like I said in the previous magazine, it was very easy to work with it because I only had a few pictures. But now in this magazine, I had a lot of pictures and I had to somewhat know what pictures to use, what pictures not to use, where to put them, where not to put them. And it was very challenging per se to see what pictures work the best and which pictures don't work the best. In addition, I had to figure out what font works the best for my magazine. Um, for example, I couldn't use fonts that were very childlike, and I couldn't use fonts that were, in a sense, cursive or it looks like it was handwritten. Since a lot of architectural magazines are very professional, so it is used with fonts that it is able to be read very easily, clearly, and have a very good flow to it. For example, you have Time New Romans and you have Arial. However, I did not use Times New Romans or Arial. I used different types of fonts that had the same flow and it was still very readable to the eye. So I had to somehow learn to see what fonts work best for a very mature and formal magazine. However, through the entire process of learning these new ways of how to contribute picture fonts and colors into a magazine, I already had a little bit of editing skills. So, editing my pictures for the magazine wasn't really that hard because I already had experience of editing pictures. It was also very easy to know how big to have the fonts or how big to have the pictures. So that was very simple and thorough throughout the magazine process. Um, it was also very simple and easy to make the magazine look as simple as possible and make the magazine look as similar as possible to as and similar and close to as possible like other conventions, like other architectural magazines. Okay. Through the development of my magazine, I had to integrate either technology that I already knew or new technology. For example, for my software, I used Canva, Riverside, and YouTube. For Canva, I used it to edit my entire magazine. I used it to edit the pictures that I had. So use it to see what fonts work to better, including the ones that Canva already has given to every single viewer. And I used those fonts that they gave me in order to see which fonts works best for an architectural magazine. I used Canva and also I used it with the different types of photo frames that they have. I tried to see if it would incorporate good into the magazine. However, that wasn't the case. I used regular square boxed photo frames and it worked out pretty well for my magazine. Now, I use Riverside in order to do the creative critical reflection. Um it was something very new to me. I've never done a podcast before. I've never done a video editing. So in that sense, that thing was very new to me. So I had to learn how to use Riverside. I had to learn how to edit. I had to learn how to contribute it to make it sound like a professional video. YouTube was very simple. I have published videos before. I've never edited, but I've published YouTube videos before for the sake of um class assignments and etc. But YouTube was very simple and easy for me to do it because I already had background knowledge to do it. Now, the hardware that I used was my own personal laptop. It is a Lenovo Yoga laptop. So I already knew how my laptop works. So I knew that sometimes there were some programs that I couldn't use due to my laptop, or there were some things that I knew would work best. For example, Canva worked best for my laptop because my laptop is so used to Canva that it did everything pretty quick. It really connected really good with Canva. Now, the online things that I used was, for example, Blog EDU, which for me was a way to keep track of the magazine or my planning and just, to get to the final goal. And it was also a very good way to interact with my teachers to see what I need help with and what I could do better. So that was also very useful to get critique back and for my magazine to be better.